Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel, Under the Needle. So I'm here today with a dilemma. I purchased, so my iron died today, like 30 minutes ago. So maybe an hour, I don't know. It died. I used the iron today. Okay. I was actively, if y'all don't know, so I was working on this quilt here, right? So I had gotten a pattern in the Open Gate Quilt subscription box for one pattern, but then last month's box, or this month's box, I should say, February, March, the last box we got, this pattern came in it, and I was just enthralled with this pattern, so I decided not to do the other quilt that I was going to make, and I decided to make this one. So I started cutting out the quilt yesterday, right? So I ironed 4 fat quarters, and I did my sub cutting. Great. So then I'm like, I'm going to finish cutting today, and I'm going to do a test block today, right? Just to make sure that I like how everything is going to be going. I did, 13 fat quarters. I ironed 13 fat quarters without issue, okay? I sprayed them with Best Press, pressed them, no problem, right? So then I go to the sewing machine to do my test block, right? And so I got like my little squares sewn together and my little snowball corners here. And so I'm, go iron, and, it's flashing green, which is what it does. It flashes green when it's warming up. And so I touched it so that it would start to warm up and, initiate the heating process. And then when I went to pick it up, I didn't even pay attention. I just went to iron, and it was sticky. You know how like the iron, when it's not hot, it just kind of sticks to your fabric. And that's what it did. And I was like, what the heck? What's going on with my iron? Why is it just flashing green? And I'm like, okay, it's not hot. So then I was like, well, maybe I didn't give it long enough. So I just waited, I don't know, 5-10 minutes and just let it kind of sit, and it's still flashing green. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to turn the iron off, unplug it, plug it back in, turn it on, right? Oh, hold on. Sorry, I wanted to go ahead and plug it in so I could show you the flash of death, right? So I do a chat over with the folks at Missouri Star, and they're like, hey, you got to contact Aliso, right? It was really quick transaction, right? I just did a literal chat on my phone. They're like, you got to contact Aliso. I call Aliso. They answer the phone quickly, no long hold time. And they're like, okay, so I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot the iron. And so to troubleshoot the iron, they said they want to have me reset the iron. And so to reset the iron, what you would do is you would turn the iron off. So here, you would turn this dial to turn the iron off, right? Unplug it, right? Then once you unplug it, this little thing here, for those of you who have no Aliso, this little thing here, you're supposed to move it back like 3 times, back and forth 3 times. And I was like, now mind you, I don't put water in this iron ever. When I first got it, I put water in it. Like when I first got it, I put water in it because I'm just used to using a steam iron. I'm used to having water in my iron always, right? So at first, that's what I did. But because I wasn't used to leaving this iron like this, and I would leave it like this, it would actually start to leak. So I was like, I just used the water that was in there, and I never put water in it again. So I filled the tank when I first got this iron, and I haven't put water in it since. So the residual water that you see in here, that's just residual water from the first time I filled the tank. And to be honest, when I got the iron, it had water in it because they test the irons to make sure the steam feature works. So your iron is going to have water in it when it comes to you anyway, and this iron still does, right? So, but I have not put water in it since I got it in 2021. I will say this iron did convert me to a dry iron and not steam. And I think it's actually helped my quilting, right? Because I tend to be a little forceful with my, I tend to be a little heavy-handed. and it was causing my fabric to stretch because I was using that steam, and the steam was helping that fabric loosen up a little bit more and be more prone to stretch. So I noticed that my results were a little bit better. But anyway, back to my dead iron. While we're on the phone, I say, sir, now the reason I say the whole thing about not putting iron in here is not putting water in here is because my dial stays here to the left for no steam. I don't move it because I don't use the steam. And so when I went to move it, I was like, sir, mine just moves freely. He's like, no, ma'am. He's like, it's supposed to click. It's supposed to click for each option, and mine is not clicking into place. Mine is moving freely. And he said, well, ma'am, since yours moves freely, you're not going to be able to reset the iron. You're going to have to get it replaced. And in my head, I'm like, oh gosh, what is this going to be like? What is this going to entail? And he's like, so ma'am, I'm going to send you an email, and then you're going to have to contact Missouri Star. And literally 5 seconds later, I had the email. And the email had a reference number, and it had the number to call Missouri Star. I called Missouri Star. I gave them the reference number, and within 5 seconds, they had emailed me a shipping label. So basically, I have to take this iron and ship it back, but they're going to reimburse me, is what they're going to do. They're going to reimburse me my money instead of shipping me a new iron, which, I'm not really sure how I feel about it because, I did get this iron on sale. I did not pay full price for this iron. I mean, I almost did. I think I got like $10 off because right now it's $199.99 and I paid $189.95. So I got like $10 off because I think I got it during the pre-order period before they were ready to start shipping it. So there's that. So now I got to figure out what kind of iron I want. I got to figure out, do I want to get another Oliso iron, or do I want to go ahead and get me the Velocity 270? Because that's kind of how I'm leaning. The only issue is that I've been using pretty much exclusive. I've been using this iron pretty much exclusively. There is still flashing green. It shouldn't be anymore. It should be hot and it should be solid green. Nada. Nothing happening. So, yeah, now I got to figure out what iron I want. But what I was saying is I've gotten used to this now. Okay, my entire life, this is how I ironed. Okay, but since maybe November of 2021, it probably took me a couple of weeks to adjust to leaving it like this. So when I first got the iron, I did keep it like this, and eventually I put it like this. But yeah, I've gotten used to this being it, and I've got a little spot for it, and I've just gotten used to keeping my iron like that. And I don't really know if I can go back to putting my iron on its heel. And I don't feel comfortable because I know I can buy a piece of wood, and then because I use this full plate right here. It's filthy. Don't judge me, okay? I've never washed it. So it's just lint and dust all over it. But I got this at some point, and so I sit this down. My Oliso goes on top. And then I know the silicone is going to protect everything because it's going to shut off after 30 minutes, right? The Oliso shuts off after 30 minutes. So I don't have an issue putting it down and walking away with it on the silicone. Now, I know I could do that with the Velocity iron. I could get a piece of wood, put the silicone down on the wood and put that down, but it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me worry about fire safety and things like that. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to have to do, because I need to iron, because I need to finish my test block. The first thing I'm going to do is go and get my old iron, the Rowenta that I had been using, and I'm going to use that. And of course I have to keep that on its heel. So I'm going to have a little bit of practice to see if I can flex back to a traditional iron and put it like this. So I'm gonna, because I gotta ship this back to Missouri Star. So yeah, I gotta ship this back to them. So I got a box. I'm gonna put this in the box. I'll have the post office pick it up tomorrow. But yeah, I gotta ship this back, and then so I'm gonna plug in the Rowenta and use that, and that'll give me an idea, because it's gonna take some time, right? My mail isn't gonna pick up until tomorrow, and then it's gonna take it some time to get there, right? And then it's gonna take them some time to issue the refund. So I'm looking at 7 to 10 business days, right? So and then I still have to buy another iron. Now, I guess I don't have to wait for the refund. I don't have to wait for the refund since they're not issuing me a new iron. I don't have to wait for the refund. I could just buy a new iron today and just wait 7 to 10 days for my money back, and that'll be my reimbursement. I could do that. But I think I want to wait. I want to spend a few days with the Rowenta and see how that goes. Yeah, I want to see how that goes before I go back to a traditional iron. I've gotten very used to this Oliso. I'm pretty bummed that it lasted less than 18 months. Yeah, it lasted less than 18 months. That's not a long time. And that's a pretty expensive iron for it to last less than 18 months. And to basically have 2 different failures. That's 2 failures. One failure is the, just in case it's still flashing, so it's probably not hot, and it's not. But it's had 2 failures. The first failure being this here doesn't work properly, which also inhibits my ability to reset the iron. And then I had the heating mechanism fail. So that's 2 failures of this iron in less than 18 months. Yeah, I ordered this October 21st, I believe, 2022, and it didn't ship right away, because like I said, it was a pre-order, I believe. So I probably got it sometime in November. I know I did an unboxing and a review. Yeah, so November, December, January, February, March. So that's 16 months. That's, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's a very expensive thing. And as a quilter, you need your iron. You need your iron. So I'm going to see, because I've got, like I said, a couple of projects that I've been working on, especially the interwoven quilt that I've been working on. The quilt is made up entirely of 1.5-inch strips. And that Oliso has been doing really well with my pressing. So I am going to probably do some pressing and using the Rowenta on that quilt to kind of see how that goes. If you guys have any iron recommendations, drop them below. But I think my main contenders are either another Oliso or the Velocity 270 IR. I believe that's the one. And if I can find a used one, that's probably what I'll do. If I can get it for less money, I'll definitely do that. I have no issues buying a used iron. My Rowenta was used. I got it for like half price used. Hey, in this economy, we got to do what we got to do. So that's it for me and my quilting woes. And I'll see you guys next video.